Hey guys, so today we're going to just break down very quickly and basically do a summary of the two new characters dropping for part 2 of Legends Fest here. We have God, Goku, and Hit, and then we have the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and then we should also actually have the unique equip for Evolution Blue Vegeta this week. I assume the Zenkai for Super Vegeta is not this week, but let's just double check just to make sure. Where is our good buddy old pal Super Vegeta? I actually don't. Where is he? Where? Oh, where? He's like right in front of me and I'm just missing it. Oh, there he is. Top here. Yeah, okay, so this guy's Zenkai is definitely next week, which makes sense. So, let's go back here. We'll start with God, Goku, and Hit. They are a melee type character, purple and red, so they have good type coverage for themselves. They have access to tons and tons of Zenkai buffs. And they seem like they'll be pretty good. They have good defensive abilities with the endurance, buff removal. They have the lock-in. They have key reduction. They have a lot of damage guards. So, yeah, they look pretty promising. Let's go ahead and see what their stats look like, though. Oh, it's pretty even, actually. Pretty even stats. In terms of the actual numbers, I wouldn't really consider this to be the highest of all time. So if you factor out the arts boost and factor in the title boosts, they're going to be like high 250s for strike, which isn't particularly impressive, but the fact that they have pretty similar blast stats, or a pretty similar blast stat to strike stat is pretty good. Going to be high 170s to defenses. Yeah, again, nothing crazy with their stats here in terms of the actual values, but it could be worse. Could be definitely worse. So they have a strike and a blast, 10% on hit, 15 counts, normal blast card. So they're on Saiyan, Sun Family, God Key, Universe Rep. So 4 actual different teams. Yeah, stacks damage. So for whatever reason, Goku doesn't stack damage on the blast card, but Hit does. Oh, wait, no. He doesn't. I guess that was a typo. Huh. They made a typo in the kit information on the website. On the website, it lists Hit as also stacking damage on the blast card, which I guess is a mistake. So now we know. For the most part, they're pretty similar in terms of what the Goku and Hit side are doing. Goku is more of a supporting green card effect. He's reducing ally sub count and he's healing the entire team, whereas Hit is increasing enemy sub counts by 2 and he's reducing enemy health restoration by 60%. So Hit has the ability to potentially lock the opponent in, draw blue, and then just like clobber them with blue cards. Also, something that I think is very powerful, probably one of the most powerful parts of this character, is the tag switch ability for both characters. So from Goku to Hit and Hit to Goku are providing 2 cards. 2 cards. 2. And then the first time you tag to both sides of the character, you also get a permanent 30% damage buff as well. So really powerful tag switch ability. Both characters, by the way, we'll talk about this with Gohan as well, end up getting 10% to damage guard at 14 stars to its universe rep for this character. And then Gohan, I think it's for hybrid Saiyans. But yeah, the character seems pretty good. So the difference, I think, mainly between the Goku side and the Hit side in terms of the unique ability is Goku is stacking crit right here, and he's canceling his attribute downgrades, and then Hit with the full gauge is getting critical damage, and he's removing enemy buff effects here. And their gauge is a tag switch gauge, so it's going to fill whenever you tag switch. Starts at 50%. Starts at 50%, so I think it's going to take 2 switches to get this filled up, but it should be pretty easy to do because this character has multiple ways of getting switch gauge. 40% when entering the field, 20% when they use a card for the first time. Their blue cards both give 100% to the switch gauge when the move is enhanced, so when you have the full gauge up, it's going to basically reset it, and it's going to give you the tag switch gauge to start filling it back up again immediately. Defensively, we're talking about more switch gauge on Vanish. We have extra damage guard when they get hit. Enemy key minus 35. They're locked in for 2 counts. And endurance with sub count reduction, buff removal, and type neutral here. So Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely seem pretty damn good. This character, I think, should help for sure in terms of dealing with Gogeta. All right, and then we have Gohan. The one thing I do want to emphasize about this character, at least initially, is him being blue is very important. Right now, there is only one blue character that I think serves as a, relatively big threat on the offensive side of things, and that's blue transforming UI Goku. But that guy came out in May, almost 7 months ago. So we've gone a long time without being threatened by a powerful blue character. We do have 13. 13 is not what I would consider to be an offensive powerhouse in terms of the damage he's doing, but obviously he's very, very powerful in other ways. That's why people use him all the time still. But we don't have like a super hyper offensive, good, powerful, megaton hammer blue unit. So that's probably what this Gohan is here. All right. Yeah, he's much more geared towards strike for sure. 14,000 differential in the stats here, which is significant. So you definitely want to run him on like a fully strike team for sure. Defenses are also pretty solid too, considering he's got a revive. Over 180,000 strike defense, and then like mid 170s to blast defense. Yeah, his stats are definitely very good. Definitely very good. He actually has these cards, huh? 20% strike, 20% blast. He's stacking damage on both the strike and the blast, unlike God Goku and Hit, who won't do that on the strike. His blue card to me seems like one of the most powerful blues in the entire game, if not the single best blue in the entire game. On activation, special move damage 50%, nullifies endurance. So for whatever reason, they usually don't do this, but they gave this character endurance nullification on the blue prior to reviving. So, yeah, I mean, they usually don't do that. Whenever you have an LF character that's a revival character or a transforming character, they don't actually have endurance nullification until they've reached their final form, but here we are. I guess it's because it's Gohan. That's why they that's why they did this, right? Also, when special move arts is enhanced, he is going to get 100% vanish, type neutral, and enemy key minus 100. And the way you enhance both this and the green is by having a full unique gauge, which seems like it's going to be pretty easy to do. The green card, so the green card prior to reviving doesn't seem too crazy. It's just a stop time green, draws a card, gets health, key, damage, cover null for 5 counts, and then when it's enhanced, it gives him a blue, which is definitely strong. But besides that, it's not very good. The actual unique gauge here is an attack type unique gauge, and so the charge is greatly charged. This seems like it's going to be filled up in like 2 cards. So it should be pretty easy to get this. And then when you fill it up, it's going to be enhancing your green and blue cards. You draw a card, 50 key, cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. And when it's full, you get extra damage, lower the cost of your blue card. And when this character has more than 1% of the gauge filled, so as long as it's filled up at all, when an ally gets hit, he's healing by 10%, increasing his damage guard by 20%, and then reducing ally sub count by 2. And this is going to activate whether or not it's him being hit by the attack or a different ally being hit by the attack. And then something else to remember is the first time he gets hit when this is up, the entire gauge gets consumed. So that is important to remember. You can't just do this infinite times because that would be kind of insane if you could stack that. Okay, and then don't forget he has permanent damage in his main ability. So you want to use this probably, honestly, like almost as soon as you can, I would say. It does refresh your hand to give you one of each type of card. So it's kind of like a similar effect to LF Demon King Piccolo when he uses a rush. You can try and use this in tandem with a rush to at least give yourself a better chance to not get guessed. But pretty interesting ability there. He does, of course, have a revive, which gives him 70% more HP when he revives. Tons of damage guard, tons of damage, 70% key recovery, draw speed. He does rely on you having one other hybrid Saiyan or Sun family to get the extra damage and damage guard, which isn't that hard to do. And then he also has subcount manipulation for himself. So he has 2 different kinds of subcount manipulation. The first one is going to be just -5 innately without it being locked behind any conditions when the opponent uses a ultimate blue card or rising rush. By the way, this is unlimited times. There's no like limit on this. And then if you're running a Hybrid Saiyan, so this is specifically Hybrid Saiyan, whereas the starter ability is the extra damage and damage guard or Hybrid Saiyan or Sun Family. This one is specifically Hybrid Saiyan. He gets another -5 sub count. So -10 to sub count against big moves if you have a Hybrid Saiyan on the team, which is pretty good. He has the LF Bardock ability where he prevents enemy switching when enemy attack ends. So if you swap out of this character, it's going to activate and lock the opponent in for a few seconds, which is actually pretty good in terms of disrupts. What else do we need to talk about here? He gets 30% to his unique gauge on cover change and destroys 2 cards. He's drawing a lot of cards. Enemy Confrontation draws a card. Strike Such Blast Arts use draws a card. Unique gauge fills up, draws a card. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. And then when his revive activates, he actually locks the opponent in. Well, it doesn't lock him in, but he force switches the current enemy, which for all intents and purposes essentially is a lock-in on the enemy that swaps in after that. For whatever reason, he now supports damage, gets more charge rate to his unique gauge, and then pretty much everything else remains the same except for his green, which is now an AoE green, which he can draw now with the unique gauge. Draws a special arts card next 3 times when the unique gauge is full. So seemingly endless amounts of just nonsense with this Gohan. Let me just check his stats post-revive. Yeah, so they do go up for sure. It is, yeah, so he actually does get significant stats here. 200,000 strike defense. Yeah, this character's going to be a monster. The only concern with this character, kind of, is going to be a lack of Zenkai bench options. There are not really a ton of good blue Sun Family or Hybrid Saiyan Zenkai benches, which is actually the opposite of the issue with God Goku and Hit, because I think they're going to have access to an abundance of Zenkai abilities. So that's kind of the one difference here. Something else I forgot to mention about God Goku and Hit as well is this character doesn't have any cost reduction in their kit. Let me just check the cost of their cards. 15. Okay, that is a little lower than normal. Right, because when we check their starter ability, when we check their unique ability, there's no cost reduction in there anywhere. 15 strike and 25 blast. Let me just double check that with like Gohan. What does Gohan's look like? 15 on 20 blast. Okay, so his is even lower. Yeah, we'll see. I think Ki could be one of the issues with God Goku and Hit. God Goku and Hit, I don't think are really going to be running out of cards because of how crazy that 2-card draw on their tag ability is. But I could see potential issues with Ki that they would run into. All right, those are the characters. Oh, we could check supporters, I guess. So we have 3 new supporters. We have this Hoi Poi capsule, which I actually think this looks kind of interesting, believe it or not. So at level 99, which is what everyone's going to have access to once you've gone through the revamped CC shop change, because, you know, they hate longtime players. So this targets the ally on the battlefield, and the conditions are if the following are met after enemy attack ends. An enemy battle member is powerful opponent, received 1 or more damage. So it's basically the first time the opponent hits you at all. It's when this activates. You get 5% health and then 20% ki recovery. Now the difference between this and Raditz' Scouter is this is a permanent buff. 20% ki recovery permanently for the rest of the fight is pretty good. I mean, it's only for the current character, right? But that is actually pretty nice because it's going to help you overcharge. It's going to help get you to the overcharge position faster, right? When you already have 100 ki, there is no delay in getting from the normal charge animation to the overcharge animation. So extra ki recovery can really help you get to that point faster, help you fight for priority in mid-range faster. So I actually kind of like this effect. It's different, and I think it's much better designed than the Raditz Scouter effect. So for a free supporter, I actually don't hate this ability. I think it's pretty good. All right, and then we have Belmod, which is a pretty funny one. If we display max stats here, so he has a Rising Rush Seal. If all the following effects are met after enemy attack ends, 30 timer counts have elapsed from battle start, received 1 or more damage. Belmod Monologues, which obviously doesn't do anything by itself, but then if the opponent has a universe rep character, they seal the enemy rush for 25 counts, which again is also very powerful. So Belmod, I think, seems pretty good. He's pretty funny. They just talks 25 counts straight, though. Then we have Vegeta. This is kind of the I would call at this point the cookie cutter supporter effect, where it is just a combo ender against androids. It's a combo ender against androids after 50 counts. This is level 99. After 50 counts and the opponent uses a strike or like a melee green or a melee blue. So it's kind of it's basically the same thing as Yajirobe. Essentially, it's the same thing. Yajirobe, I think, actually activates a little bit earlier than this, but it's essentially the same thing. So this could help against people who use Android 13. Alrighty. Well, let's check some equips here. I believe we should have a PvP equip and the Evolution Blue Vegeta equip. Other than that, I don't think we're going to get anything new. I think it's just going to be those PvP equip. Is there no PvP equip? Oh, here, this has to be it. I don't know why it's all the way down here. Super Saiyan 2. 20% blast defense, 12% health, 10% special move damage, 25% to pure strike defense if this character is tagged Hybrid Saiyan. I mean, for a defensive equip, this is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, if you want to run, and the crazy thing about Gohan too is he has, when you actually have everything that you like can get up for Gohan, he has the highest damage guard in the game with a revive. So if you want to run Gohan as like a purely defensive character, I guess you could do that if you wanted to, and this equip would definitely help him do that. Pretty specific, right? Because Hybrid Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. What other Hybrid Saiyan is Super Saiyan 2 besides like Cell Saga Gohan? Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2. Gotenks never goes Super Saiyan 2. Goten never goes Super Saiyan 2. Trunks never goes Super Saiyan 2. Well, do we even have a Super Saiyan 2? Yeah, I mean, I guess like is the sweater Trunks, the purple sweater Trunks? He's Super Saiyan 2, right? That's pretty much it. That's such a niche pick though. No, he's actually not Super Saiyan 2. I just checked. He's Super Saiyan 1. We don't have Super Saiyan 2. Oh, actually, it's, yeah, Vegeta and Trunks. The only super... I actually didn't even realize this. Oh, no. The old, really old blue Gallic Gun Trunks is Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. And then the free-to-play character that's a copy and paste of that guy is also Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. But yeah, Vegeta and Trunks, I guess, could use this, technically speaking, but, I mean... like, so I think they're actually in Z tier this season. You're not gonna want to build them defensively anyway, so you wouldn't use this on them. But that is a defensive option for the new Gohan, I guess. So it's pretty niche, but I think it's a decent equip. Oh wait, what? What is this? What is this? Universe Rep. 15% blue card, 50% blue card damage, 30% to strike defense, 20% to base offenses. 15% blue card damage, 15% strike defense, 30% blast defense, 30% strike. This is... Are these equips that they're just going to give out to us? Or are they just going to slap these in... It might be just like this, where they slap this into the Ultimate Equipment Collection event. Not really the highest on this. And the reason why is because God Goku and Hit... Well, I guess it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not insanely good. It's not bad, though. I mean, it's fine. This one is pretty good. The problem with hybrid equips, though, is like there's such good options for Hybrid Saiyans that it's hard to give like a attractive option that's not one that already exists. But there's a lot of stats. Yeah, these definitely aren't bad equips. Like if you're somebody who doesn't have access to some of these like really high level co-op or awakened equips, these could be good options for sure. All right, and then Evolution Blue Vegeta's equipment. Let me just quickly take a look. I don't think there's a new awakened equip. Yeah, so next week will be a new awakened equip and a new co-op equip. All right, Vegeta. You know what? I am going to just pull up Vegeta's abilities on a separate page. I think a lot hinges on this, actually. If this character's equip does not address the main problems with this character, then it really hurts God Goku and Hit a lot. I think God Goku and Hit's viability are going to, I don't want to say depend on this, but a lot of it's going to hinge on this because Universe Reps, like this is the third character you're most likely going to be using in Universe Reps, is Evolution Blue Vegeta with this equip. And the main reason why is because they didn't drop a 1% sparking on this banner. So there's not really a ton of options here. But let's see. Let's see what they did here. So Evolution Blue Vegeta from the 7th anniversary. Keep in mind, this is kind of the same timing that Kid Goku got his equip. So I expect similar numbers in terms of stats, damage guard, damage, things like that. Okay. 20% health, 50% to base defenses, 10% damage guard. %10 damage guard. I don't know if that's what we were looking for. So Vegeta has 180% damage guard in his starter ability. And then I think he gets, what is it, 20% when he transforms? Yeah, 20% damage guard when he transforms for 10 counts. So he's going to jump to 210% damage guard, which, I mean, is it fine? Yeah, but like we have these characters, like Gohan is dropping with like 270%, like with all the bells and whistles attached. I mean, if you have God Goku and Hit at 14 stars, which no one's going to really have, they do give 10% extra in their Z ability. So I mean, he's getting 50% to base stats. He's getting 20% health on this, but I would have liked to have seen higher damage guard than 10. Slot 2 is 30% damage. Okay. 50% base offenses, and then 30% to special move damage. That's good. His blue card definitely felt like it really didn't hit hard whatsoever. So them giving him that is good. But 30% damage. Yeah, I feel like that's fine. They could have given him more, but I don't think... Like, I definitely think the 10% damage guard is more egregious than, than the 30% damage buff. Slot 3. On battlefield entry, the following effects occur. Health plus 10%. Unique gauge plus 40%. Wait, what does that mean? 10 counts? Unique gauge plus 40%, 10 counts? What does that mean? After 10 counts, you lose that portion of the unique gauge? Like, did they mean to say charge rate here, but they just like didn't word it correctly? Unique gauge plus 40%, 10 counts. I don't know what that means. Why? What does 10 counts mean? The way I'm reading this is every time he enters the battlefield, he gets 40% of his unique gauge. Isn't that what this is supposed to mean? I actually have no idea what this 10 counts means. I don't know. We'll have to test it. I think it might be a mistake. Either that's a mistake and it shouldn't be there, or what they meant to say is unique gauge charge rate plus 40% for 10 counts. On enemy character confrontation, nullify damage received element disadvantage for 3 counts. Okay, so type neutral defensively for 3 counts whenever he's faced with an enemy. Obviously, the unique gauge part of this is the biggest part that's going to help him the most. The one thing I would have liked to have seen them add is buff removal. Luckily, Ultra UI Goku with his Platinum equipment deletes buffs from standby against ults. So that's going to help this character too. I think they could have done more for this, to be honest. The one area where I think it's like, all right, what are we doing here is damage guard 10%. But we'll see. We'll see. I think the unique gauge part of this, if the way it's worded is what it's supposed to say, where it says unique, like you just get 40% of his unique gauge when he enters, that's pretty good, actually. That should definitely help him a lot. So that's Vegeta's equip, and that's it. that is this week's content. And then next week we have the Zenkai 4 Super Vegeta. We also have the Hoi Poi PvE event. We have the Super Ultra Space Time Rush event coming as well. And then we have the events for getting the Z power for the new characters if you pull them. So let me know what you guys think of this week's update. Let me know what you think of the new characters. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.